going to use three theories: the hope theory, the balance theory, wisdom, and the superior performance intelligence theory. What is it? Is an awareness and understanding of the context and how to apply your knowledge in that context to achieve your goals. So we talked about having goals, right? But now we're going to be like, okay, in order to be successful, you need to understand the context a lot, and that's important. And those three theories are going to help us prove that. Ready? All right, let's go. So from the hope theory, the only part that we haven't covered and we're interested now is the pathways. So the ways. So how are you going to do it, right? This is the part that has to do with the environment, the context. Why do we care? High hope people exhibit more pathways, sustain pathway behaviors, and pick more challenging pathways than low hope people. And that's what's even more interesting. Those people who pick those more challenging pathways, they don't really consider them more challenging. Okay? They just pick them because they're high hope people. That's what they do. So if there's any coach that would like to help me with those examples, that would be helpful. So I can drink a little bit of water. Any coach?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yes, we can.
Example of the ways. A high hope athlete who wants to make the starting lineup will A, try to hit the gym even at night. B, practice more than their teammates on their technique. C, identify a variety of ways to attack nutrition. Example, have meal prep days in the weekends, establish SIP protocols for optimal hydration, psychology, read a book on how their favorite player deals with pre-game anxiety, recovery. Examples are ice baths and self-myofascial release on days after games. And D, keep trying to plan alternative courses of action to achieve that goal, even when obstacles appear. Examples, a minor injury, a stressful week at home, or forgot their pregame meal.
Thanks, coach. So these are examples of what a high hope athlete would do in terms of ways, okay? So if you're wondering if you're a high hope athlete, these are 4 questions that I can quickly assess that. Can you think of many ways to get out of a jam? Do you think there are a lot of ways around any problem? Can you think of many ways to get the things in life that are most important to you? And last one, do you think that even when others get discouraged, you know you can find a way to solve the problem? If you answer to all 4 of them yes, you think highly of your ability to generate ways to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. And that's all we're going to talk about, the pathways and hope theory in terms of context knowledge. Okay, so it is about finding the way to reach your goal, and we gave specific examples here, and there are always a variety of ways to do it. The high hope athlete is trying to understand that and find those ways to achieve that goal. That's one. Now let's talk about the theory of wisdom, and we're going to spend some time here. Wisdom is not a new term such as greed, right? It's an old term, and we have used many ways in the past to define it. So we have philosophical, like even from Aristotle. Also, we have philosophical in terms of religions, like the Christian religion and others. And in general, it has been described as something positive, right? We want to have wisdom. We also have implicit theories, we have explicit theories, but I'm not going to go into that right now. That's not the point. This is the definition of wisdom in the balance theory of wisdom. So it looks a little bit too much. I'm going to read it with you, and then we're going to break it down, and I promise it will make sense. So it is the application of successful intelligence as mediated by values toward the achievement of a common goal through a balance. So balance is really important here, right? It's part of the name. Through a balance among intrapersonal, interpersonal, and extrapersonal interests, in order to achieve another balance here now among adaptation to existing environments, shaping on of existing environments, and selection of new environments. So this is how it would look like. So we have 5 components. We have the intelligence right here on the left, and on the other side we have the common good. That's the goal, right? So here we're talking about practical intelligence. Side note, have you heard about the tacit knowledge, right? For example, the practical part of knowledge. So if you can actually apply it. So a lot of times in school, we teach you something, and then you can actually have I teach you how to be a coach, but then you actually have a coach. That's different. Okay. So the theoretical knowledge is usually, it starts and ends somewhere. There's specific examples, there's specific solutions. In real life, when you try to apply it, sometimes there's no right or wrong. There are many solutions, and you have to find a way. So here we're talking about that part of the knowledge. So you have to apply intelligence. You apply intelligence all the way in order to achieve a goal, which is the common good. Now, in order to do that, you go through a balance of interests, as you can see. So you have to balance, and that's what's important for us, interests that have to do with you, your own interests, interpersonal interests, which are other people's interests, and then extrapersonal, which is aspects of the context in which we exist, for example, a team, right? And then you take that and you're trying to balance it into the environments. So we have three kinds of things that happen here. You change the environment in order to be a better fit for you. You change in order to be closer to that environment, or you think this is not a good environment for you and you change environments. And I'm going to give examples in a little bit. At the same time, you have some values at the bottom, right? And we're going to talk about this in a little bit, which are mediating the whole process. So I'm going to come back to this, but I just want you to know, for context knowledge, we're really interested in the extra personal, which is, again, the aspects of the context in which we exist. In our examples, it will be a team. And also this, which is about balancing of responses to environments. And this is where we're going to focus. So let me tell you a couple of things about wisdom and the thing that we just saw. So as you can see, wisdom is application of successful intelligence. So we need intelligence to be wise. It doesn't mean that if you're intelligent, you're wise, but you cannot be wise if you're not intelligent. Okay? So intelligence is a prereq of wisdom, but it doesn't always lead to wisdom. Okay? Also, in order to be wise, the goal is not your goal or my goal, is a common goal, which is the common good, right? And it's always about balancing. And I gave you some examples. I'll give you some more in a second. And the last thing that we see there is the values. Values are things such as honesty and courage, right? And they're called values because they're not just today I'm honest, tomorrow I'm not. It's something that's really part of who you are, and you really believe in it. And in order for that to happen, you need time. And that's why a lot of times, we say that wise people are older people, because in order to have those values, you need time. Okay. So if we go back to this that we just talked about, I'll give you an example of the extra personal, and then I'll give you an example of the balancing of the other environment. So the extra personal is, I have my own interests, and I have to balance them with my teammates' interests, and also with the culture of the team. Does that matter? Of course it matters. Think about a team you used to play, think about this team, also think about different sports, the culture in football team compared to figure skating team, I don't know, anything, or a golf team, or a diving team. They're different. So you need to balance those interests together, okay? And also, let's talk about environments, the bigger square over there, the red one. Let's say you just went to a new team, right? And the coach's philosophy is different than yours. So there are three things that can happen there for you to apply all that intelligence, all that knowledge that you have, right? You're either gonna change your ways to match your coaches, or you'll do your own thing and try to make the environment change based on your interests, or you will just go to that new team and you'll see that their culture is very different than yours and you don't agree at all, and you're gonna be like, you know what, I'm changing things, I'm leaving, this is not for me. So we have that knowledge, we have that intelligence, we have that tacit knowledge all the way to the left, but we need to know the context in order to apply it, in order to achieve that common good or success, however you want to call it. Okay. And these are the examples that I have here. What I just explained. One is about the extra personal part, and the other one is about balancing environments. The bottom line, as you can see at the bottom, bold, is that a wise judgment is definitely partially based on choosing among several environmental responses. So you have to take into consideration the environment, the context. So hopefully those examples made the point. And that's the last thing for today. The last theory that is going to help us support the context knowledge, and it's called superior performance intelligence. And it has three main parts. We're interested in B, knowing how to work with your environment, and one part that has to do with the deliver. Okay, so which is called, I'm sorry, delivering. So this is the whole thing. It has three main parts, which have subcomponents. We're interested in all this and the delivering part of the third one. Okay, so don't really get confused. Hopefully this slide that I made for you makes things a little bit clearer. So we have three components, but we're only interested with knowing how to work with your environment and the delivering part of knowing how to deliver high performance. So knowing your environment, what does it mean? It means you know which you can control from your environment. For example, knowledge of your arena, recruiting the right people, knowing your teammates, hiring the right stuff. Those are things that you know you can control. But also you should know the things that you cannot control. Example, you know you cannot control the NCAA regulations. Okay? As a bottom line, as you can see, knowing your environment involves having a deep understanding and clear perception of the performance environment, including distinguish between knowledge and information. In general, information is just the information, the data, and knowledge is understanding the information. Here we're talking about understanding the data. Okay, that's one. Shaping your environment. Examples, defining and communicating a vision. If you know your environment, you know what you have, you know what you need to do, you know what you can do, so you can create a vision and break it down into specific goals. Number two, if you have to surround yourself with the right people. That means that you need, in order to achieve those goals, you need people with the right expertise next to you, right? Fostering collaboration. That means that you need to support long-term relationships with those people. You also have to challenge the way things used to be, the way things used to be done if you want different results. And also seeing intelligence, seeing emotions, understanding emotions, and use emotions will help you with your environment. So on the right side, you see the summary of all this, which is about making certain you have the appropriate people around you who are equally committed towards common goals and are challenging constantly the established ways. The third thing and last thing about knowing how to work with your environment, being in tune with your environment. So in this fast-paced world, you have to be ready to react, right? And you have to be very, very quick. Building and maintaining relationships means that you have those soft skills to create and maintain those relationships. And of course, staying humble means that the product, whatever product, is part of teamwork. You're not more important. Everybody is equal. So staying in tune with your performance environment, reacting quickly to challenging circumstances, and maintaining supportive relationships, which is supported by humility. And the last thing is delivering. All right. You have to perform under pressure. So when the time comes, you have to remain calm and make the best decision. You have to trust your abilities. You have to compartmentalize so you can focus on the things that you can control. You also have to react quickly if an opportunity comes up. And the very last one is about at some point you need to understand and you need to make up your mind if you know the best course of action is not the best course of action anymore. So delivering involves knowing how to perform when under pressure, trusting your intuition, recognizing patterns, deciding quickly, committing to doing what's necessary, and focusing on the most important controllables. I know I said a lot of theories. This is the bottom line of SPI. It's about sustainability. So it's not only about being successful, but staying successful. So SPI is a brand new, not brand new, like 10 years term that we're using, and it's trying to answer that question. Why several talented, hardworking, and lucky high performance cannot sustain a success? And I put some names down there. Why not everybody cannot become Michael Jordan or Michael Johnson or Tom Brady? Why they are successful and they just disappear? So that's what superior performance intelligence explains. And for us, we use the part that had to do with knowing the context and knowing the environment and know where you're going to apply all that intelligence, all that information that you have. These are the take-home points. Context knowledge is defined as an awareness and understanding of the performance context and how to apply this knowledge in achieving success or reaching one's goals. Context knowledge and success mindset are related but separate. Context knowledge equals the will and the ways. The ways are highly related to context knowledge. Wise people are striving to be aware of the environment in which they need to apply their knowledge. And superior performance intelligence is about helping athletes getting to the top, but also stay there. So